Good afternoon. Welcome to Africa Today. I am Wisdom Onizi. First, the headline. Nigerian government launches digital quality assurance platform. Chinese Ghanaian president announce elevation of bilateral ties. Climate change cost Africa up to 5% of GDP, UN climate head says. And on sport, on AFCON 2025 qualifier, Osimhen storms Super Eagles Uyo camp. Now the news in details. The federal government has unveiled an electronic quality assurance system, Federal Education Quality Assurance Service Cloud Saver, collected to boost the quality of basic and secondary education in the country. Minister of State for Education Yusuf Sununu formally launched the platform at a ceremony held at the Universal Basic Education Commission Digital Resource Center Abuja yesterday. He noted that automating the Federal Education Quality Assurance Service Department and establishing the Cloud Saver would better equip the Federal Ministry of Education to monitor, evaluate, and improve education quality assurance processes and practices nationwide. Sununu, who was represented by the Director of Information and Communication Technology, Abubakar Isa, said the Cloud Saver would revolutionize the operations of the FECOTS department to enable it, enhance data capturing and management, streamline processes, and improve efficiency, boost collaboration, networking, and efficient reporting, ensure scalability and flexibility, and fortify security and data protection. Away from that, we'll have you know that the recent decision by the federal government to peg the minimum wage for candidates seeking for senior secondary school certificate examination may have come to stay, the House of Representatives Committee on Basic Education has said. The Minister of Education, Tahi Maman, had in July stated that with effect from 2025, any candidate below the age of 18 will not be allowed to sit for SSE, and without which such students cannot secure admission to higher institution of learning. The announcement has generated heated debate among parents and education stakeholders. In an exclusive interview, the chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Basic Education, Mark Hussaini, gave reasons the federal government might not likely reverse the decisions. We also have you know that the Secretary to the federal government, George Akume, has said it is unacceptable for 2,776 people to be killed and 16,309 injured in road traffic crashes between January and July this year. Speaking yesterday in Abuja during the launch of FRSC mobile app and National Crash Reporting Information System, he stated that between January and December last year, 5,081 people were killed, while 31,874 were injured in road mishaps. Appraising the app, he said it was intended to raise awareness and sensitize both drivers and passengers on the potential causative factors of road traffic crashes. According to him, the app would aid emergency reporting, detecting black spots, issuing eyewitnesses report, detecting excess speed, and alerting both drivers and passengers. Motorists could also use the app to verify when their license or vehicle papers expire, among other features and benefits of the app. According to the MBS, the number represents an 8.56% increase from the previous quarter, totaling 21,733 crashes, but reflect a 9.60% decrease from the 26,282 crashes reported in second quarter 2022. Now, when we return, news from other parts of West Africa. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now news from other parts of West Africa. Chinese President Xi Jinping and Ghanaian President Nana Akufo-Addo met on Thursday and announced the elevation of China-Ghana ties to a strategic partnership. Akufo-Addo is in Beijing for the 2024 summit of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation. Xi said China is willing to strengthen the alignment of development strategies with Ghana and to continue assisting the best of its ability to Ghana. China stands ready to expand cooperation with Ghana in the fields of agriculture, fisheries, energy, mineral resources and infrastructure, and hopes that Ghana will continue to offer relevant support and facilitation to Chinese enterprises and citizens, he added. China supports Ghana in its work as a member of the United Nations Human Rights Council for the 2024-2026 term, and is ready to enhance strategic coordination with Ghana on international and regional issues, Xi said. Away from that, Guinea's Ministry of Post, Telecommunication and the Digital Economy reportedly plans to interconnect the country's national fiber optic network with the network of Cote d'Ivoire in yet another move to boost its international capacity. No other details were given, including a timeline, but the Cote d'Ivoire interconnection plan was listed alongside current move to finalize the framework agreement for a similar interconnection plan with Sierra Leone. However, the deals with Sierra Leone and Mali don't add much redundancy to Guinea international connectivity, as Sierra Leone only has one international sub-sea link, while landlocked Mali has none. Guinea MPTN has said the Guinea's interconnection with neighboring countries will improve internet access, strengthen network coverage, and reduce communication costs. Now we move to other parts of Africa after this break. Welcome back. Now news from other parts of Africa. The United Nations climate chief said the impact of global warming is costing African nations up to 5% of their economic output, calling for more investment to help adapt to climate change. The 54-nation continent, which has borne the brunt of climate change despite releasing far less polluting emissions than the industrialized world, receives just 1% of annual global climate finance. Simon Steele, Executive Secretary of the UN, said the climate crisis is an economic sinkhole, sucking the momentum out of economic growth. African governments and their climate negotiators are considering various strategies at the pre-COP29 or Conference of the Parties preparatory meeting in West Africa country. Away from that, barely 2 months after Britain's new Labour government scrapped plans to deport illegal migrants to Rwanda, Germany has proposed adopting the same scheme. The Immigration Commissioner Joachim Stamp said Thursday that the German plan would focus on migrants coming across the European Union eastern border. Germany has accepted millions of refugees over the past decade, but its ruling coalition government is facing rising pressure to restrict irregular migration. This follows a deadly stabbing at a festival in the city of Solingen last month, which was claimed by the Islamic State group. The incident further fueled far-right criticism of Germany's migration policies. Stamp said Rwanda made most sense as a destination for illegal migrants, as the UK's facilities were still in place. However, unlike the British plan, Germany's scheme would be supervised by the United Nations. Up next is business. Stay with us. Welcome back now to business news. Nigeria President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has disclosed that the flourishing economic partnership trade between Africa and China has grown exponentially, reaching an estimated 280 billion US dollars. Speaking at the opening ceremony of the 2024 summit of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation at the Great Hall of the People in Beijing, President Tinubu highlighted the success of China-Africa partnership as a model for sustainable development and shared prosperity. The Nigerian leader said despite the global challenges, the partnership with China has stood firm, resolute, and offering a powerful example of what can be achieved through respect of sovereignty and non-interference, one of the highlights of this collaboration. These impressive figures, President Tinubu said, speak volumes about the extent of the economic relationship and expanding integration of the market, adding that China's Belt Road and initiatives align with Africa's own infrastructure goals under the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. Away from that, we also have, that banks' credit to the private sector rose by about 2.3 trillion between June and July 2024, underlining the resilience and continuing support of banks for the economic growth of the country. A comparative data on credit to the private sector showed 34% increase from 56.46 trillion naira in July 2023 to 75.5 trillion naira in July 2024, representing an increase of about 34% over the past year. Latest data on credit to the private sector obtained from the Central Bank of Nigeria indicated that banks' loans and other facilities to the private sector have increased by nearly a third, underlining the resilience and support of banking sector to the economy. The report showed that CPS rose by 33.7% to 75.48 trillion naira in July 2024 against 56.46 trillion naira recorded in July 2023, an increase of 19.2 trillion naira. A breakdown indicated that CPS increased by 3.1% or 2.29 trillion naira to 75.48 trillion naira in July 2024 compared with 73.19 trillion naira in June 2024. Banks deposit with CBN rise 104% to 3.8 trillion naira in first week. Still to come, each part. Stay with us. Welcome back now to Sport News. The Junior the Tigers beat the Zimbabweans 107-30 in their second game in Group C to record the biggest win in the competition so far, surpassing Rwanda's 65-point win over South Africa on Monday. The Julian Negodu-led side registered their first win at the AfroBasket after losing their opening game to Egypt at the University of Pretoria's Rembrandt Hall on Monday. They led 29-5 after the first quarter before surging to another 20-point lead in the second quarter, that is 27-7. With a comfortable lead heading into the second half, Nigeria won the final two quarters 51-18. Nigerians Idubamo Begi led all scores with 20 points, adding 7 assists for a game-high 31 efficiently. Following suit was Momolua Tewagbede, who added 19 points and grabbed 7 rebounds, while Wado Hemba poured in 15 points. For Zimbabwe, Tinashe Chikwata led all scorers with 13 points to go, along with 9 points from Tabisil Shuma, who also grabbed a team-high 6 rebounds. Still on sport news, we'll have you know that Victor Osimhen has arrived at the Super Eagles camp ahead of the 2025 African Cup of Nations qualifiers against Benin Republic and Rwanda. Osimhen breezed into the team's 4 points by Sheraton Hotel base on Thursday afternoon. The 25-year-old was part of the team's evening training session. The striker's arrival was delayed by his loan move to Turkish Super League champions Galatasaray. Osimhen completed his move to the Turkish giant on Wednesday. It remains to be seen if he will start the Super Eagles clash between Benin Republic on Saturday. And that's your sport news on Africa Today. We move to the rest of the news after this break. Stay with us.
This is Hills TV. Quality broadcasting is what we'll bring to you. Now we be this
Hills TV, Polka.
Welcome back. Now the rest of the news. Tunisian police late on Thursday rearrested presidential candidate Ayachi Zamel just minutes after he was released from jail on judge's order, lawyers revealed. Zamel is one of the 3 candidates approved to run in the October 6th presidential election, which opposition critics say is rigged in favor of President Kais Saied. Zamel was arrested on Monday on suspicion of falsifying voters' forms. Each candidate must submit forms from 10,000 supporters to qualify the election. He denies the allegation. He was kidnapped by members of the National Guard to unknown location, Zamel campaign member Mahi Abdel Jawad told newsmen. And that's Africa Today. But before we go, here are the headlines again. We told you that Nigeria government launches digital quality assurance platform. We brought to you that Chinese Ghanaian president announced elevation of bilateral ties. We also informed you that climate change cost Africa up to 5% of GDP, UN climate head reviewed. And on sport, we told you that Osimhen storms Super Eagles Uyo camp. Remember to visit us on Facebook at Hills TV Abuja, Instagram at Hills TV Abuja, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Hills TV. I am Wisdom Onizi. Thanks for watching.